Compete and collect cards take over VeeFriends, and eBay is popping. I'm Busy NFT. You're watching all things Web3. Hey fam, before we start, I want to tell you that this video is being sponsored by Mesarich Shipping Services, and I am being compensated for this post. However, I am still not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. So you have your Compete and Collect cards and you're ready to dominate Gary in an epic winner-take-all battle royale. Well, you missed your chance. Well, at least your first chance. That was last week at the National Sports Collectors Convention in Atlantic City. But deck building and completing sets is all the rage. On eBay, you can find unopened containers, bundle sets, and even just the box itself for sale. I even sold my very rare Courageous Cockatoo. So for the really valuable cards, everyone's sending them off to get them graded. Even Gary's talking about this. But how do we know if something is even worthy of grading? If we're going to spend the money, like, how do we make sure we're not wasting it on a card that's not going to grade well? And what are the steps to even do this? I went looking for answers to these questions, and I think I may have found them inside the VeeFam. Hey, Brock, what's up, man?
Busy, what's going on, man?
Nothing, just making videos, of course. Hey, listen, so I've got some Compete and Collect cards. I've been seeing these things all over the place. I'm really trying to understand more about grading and, what's even worth grading, how to handle that process. I hear this is something you may be able to help me out with.
Yeah, I am your guy for that. Let's talk about it.
Awesome. So before we get started, can maybe you give me a little intro, tell me about your company, what you do, how you got started that way?
Right, of course. So I'll bring it back to the very beginning. So I've followed Gary, for years. I've been watching his content, digesting everything he says. And, a couple of years ago, I saw him talking about the industry of sports cards and I kind of piggybacked off what he was saying and, dove in and learned the industry. And so I'm big into sports cards, diving into the VeeFriends, cards as well. And now I actually run a middleman company. So basically, I do vaulting for people. I live in Oregon, so I don't pay sales tax. So people send me stuff to save on sales tax, on higher ticket items, and as well as I do grading submissions to PSA, and I do consignment as well. So that's kind of where I started, and that's I'm kind of taking this in the route of VeeFriends as well as sports cards. So I want to help you guys out with this.
Nice. So I heard you say that Gary got you into sports cards. Tell me a little bit about that. How were you already a VeeFriends holder, or how did that all happen?
Right. So back then, that was before, VeeFriends even came about. That was, I did my own research, was watching YouTube videos, was watching any video Gary had on it. But that was actually before, NFTs. And as far as getting into, the VeeFriends universe, like I said, I've always been, huge on anything Gary. I saw NFTs coming about. And that's kind of where I found your content, actually. So, you're a huge kind of help into how I got into this whole, ecosystem of VeeFriends.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. Listen, I think what's so great about this is the community aspect, right? Like the fact that we all are somehow connected to Gary's content, and it's brought us together, this community. You've got people like you who do things with sports cards. I make some videos, and we're able to help each other out in so many different ways. I've met so many people. And I just think it's really cool. Like right now, though, you're the guy to talk to, because when we're talking about Compete and Collect, for example, I just sold on eBay my very rare Courageous Cockatoo, right?
Right.
I had no clue. That was my first eBay sale ever, right?
Yeah.
I've never done that before. I didn't even know there was such a thing as grading, and I've learned the term PSA, and can you help me decipher a little bit of this? Maybe there's others out there that don't know about it. I'm kind of new.
Yeah, of course.
What is all this, and how do you fit into that equation?
Yeah, so there's a couple companies. So there's PSA, there's Beckett. It also refers to as BGS, and SGC. There's a couple other companies, but PSA, BGS, those are the main companies as far as grading you need to look at. So I have a full business, full-time business revolved around this, industry. And so grading is a huge aspect of it, man. So, of course, basically, these cards, they come from boxes, like as all these people pull in their Compete and Collect packs from these boxes, or getting these cards from boxes. and you get your cards, and what do you do with those cards? How do I, protect these cards? How do I make sure they, withstand their value? How do I make sure they're, in the best form for me to sell them? And the answer to that question is through grading. And, there's a couple of companies, like I said, PSA is the main one. And it's, a little bit complex trying to figure out how to go through these companies and, how to figure out what is worth grading, because if something is like $20, it's not worth grading because you're going to pay more for the grading fees. It's going to sell for a little more, but it's still not going to sell for as much as the grading fees. So that's kind of where I come into play. I'll answer those questions for you. I will also help you, decide whether or not something's worth grading, and also send things off for you so you don't have to deal with the hassle of dealing with these companies.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. Yeah, so help me understand then. So I have a card and I want to get it graded. Do I just send it off to PSA or Beckett, or do I send it to you? Can you give me like the basic steps of exactly what I do there?
Yeah, of course. To dumb it down, basically, you could either send it off yourself, not knowing whether or not it's going to grade well, or you could send it to me where my expertise comes into play and I could, look over these cards for you. I think they're worth grading. I could go off, great, send it off for grading. Hopefully it comes back a PSA 10, PSA 9 in good condition. But, if you're sending these cards off yourself, you're risking the fact that, it may not grade well and you could lose money on that. So that's kind of where I come into play. My evaluation skills and my knowledge of the industry and judging whether or not things are worth grading and, that sort of thing.
Okay. So I think I've heard before it's like $100 to get it graded. If I send it to you and the card's just not going to grade well,
right,
you're not going to, I don't lose that $100, right? You're able to stop that process and save me that money.
That's exactly that. So that's when I'll come into play. And, I'll pull these things from submission. I'll tell you, hey, this thing's not worth grading. You shouldn't get it graded, because otherwise you'd be sending this into PSA paying $100. But instead I'm evaluating, I'm telling you, it's not worth the time. It's not worth the money, because these things do take a little bit to get graded. That's one of the processes of grading things. That's why some people don't want to grade, but that's where you could come in and also, profit off of that. But yeah, I will tell you if something's not worth grading, I'll save you that money, especially with how, the prices for grading. It's not super cheap.
Okay. I heard you say the word vaulting. What is that? How does that work?
Basically, vaulting is a term used in sports cards. So I live in Oregon with, I don't pay sales tax here. So in sports cards, my whole business revolves around, people sending me stuff from eBay. Instead of paying sales tax, they send it to my Oregon shipping, vaulting address. So I go ahead and save them the fees there, as well as I do the valuation and grading and consignment.
Awesome. So that can be really valuable if somebody's got a card that's very expensive. Like if we were to ship it to Florida and I'm paying 7% sales tax or wherever, I think I'm 7.5% in my city. And
right,
on a $1,000 card or a $5,000 card, I looked at some of the cards today that are going for $3,000 to $5,000. Some of the 101s, like really rare. That's a lot of money. So you would be able to take delivery of that and then not, save that sales tax and kind of be the pass through. That's
right. Exactly. And not even just the pass through, not even just saving that money, but as well as you're saving time. If you were buying these cards and, saying you're gonna, have them sent to you and then send them off to a different grader and then off to consigner, you're paying, a lot of money for shipping costs. You're waiting a lot of time. And in the end, time is money, especially if you're looking to, flip and, make a quick buck. So that's also where I come into play. You send it to me, you save on that initial sales tax, as well as you're saving time grading with me. You're saving time, not having to send a consigner. If you want me to consign this stuff for you, I could do that as well. I market my service as an all-in-one service because that's really what it is. You send it to me, save that money, I grade it, and I could even go ahead and sell it for you through my eBay consignment store or, even personally if I think I have somebody that's willing to buy it.
So I did a little research on you, right? I checked out your Instagram, your website. It looks like you've got a long history and a lot of satisfied customers, people that really have found value in what you're doing. This was all new to me. Like I really had no idea that this was part of the process and that there was a way to kind of work around. I thought maybe you just sent your cards in, cross your fingers, hope that it worked out. But when I heard people were paying, you know, $100 a card, you know, you're a VeeFriends holder. I wanted to know why you think Compete and Collect is such an important collection, and like, why is this so important to you that the VeeFriend family knows about what you're doing and your ability to help save them money?
Right, of course. So basically, it all stems from the fact that, you know, VeeFriends is a very new, you know, IP, intellectual property, and this is something where Gary, obviously, if you're investing into VeeFriends, you understand his vision, and you know you're investing into him. That's the whole, you know, thing behind VeeFriends. You know, you believe he's about teaching, you know, kids about their character, and that's kind of where, you know, especially grading comes into play, because if you want to hold these things long term and you want to invest in these things and maybe have these things for your kids, grading is the way to go. But also you got to look at it as this is kind of the rookie cards for VeeFriends, because you know we had the the first zero cool boxes of series ones that dropped a while back before the VF2s dropped, and you know that was kind of the first thing. And you know this is the second thing right after that. It's still super early on in the VeeFriends world, and so I really think this project, especially the Compete and Collect boxes and these cards, are going to hold value over time, because if you believe in Gary's vision, if you're investing into VeeFriends, which, you know, if you're buying into this project, you are inherently, it's got a lot of upside potential. If you believe in VeeFriends, I think this is, a good investment opportunity for everybody.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, Brock, man, this sounds really good. So I know there's going to be a lot of VeeFriends CNC holders that want to contact you and talk to you about this process. How do they go about that? What are the next steps for them?
Yeah, of course. I'm always active in the Discord. You know, you could feel free, shoot me a DM in Discord. I know Busy, he's going to link my Discord name in the video in the description. But also along with that, you're going to want to do your due diligence. I want you to, you could do a research check on me. You could check out my Instagram. We'll also link that. Aside from that, yeah, shoot me a DM. I'll go ahead. I'll get you all the information you need. I'll get you my shipping address. I'll also get you linked up with a personal spreadsheet. And that's something that we will be doing through DMs on Discord, because like I said, I'm always active there and I'd love to answer any of your questions so I can help you guys out.
Great. Like I said, I did my research on you, very impressed. And I really appreciate you taking time today to kind of explain this process. I think there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to be able to take advantage of this, and it's really going to help them out. I think I might have some cards coming your way pretty soon as well. Thanks for chatting with me, Brock. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really happy and I'm really excited to be working with you guys, especially in the VeeFriends community.
Well, there you go. So all in all, I think it's cool that we have people in the VeeFam who can help us with stuff like this and who have skin in the game alongside. In the meantime, good luck with your box breaks, and let me know if you have a spare Ninja laying around. I'm interested. Until then, Web3 is the future. Book games is forever. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.